Okay, so now we're towards the end of our course, and in our last lesson we summarized our document, the important aspects and details. This time we're just going to make a quick supplement text feature or chart doing quantifiable information contributed to our historical document. It's important not only to be able to analyze charts and graphs in our historical documents, but it's also important to be able to create them from the document itself. So this is just important, this open communication and being able to interpret and synthesize these things. It's just important for future societal advancements. So right now I want you to pretend like you acted like something, or you remember a time when you pretended to be someone or something, or you insinuated something and it totally wasn't true. So for an example that I could give for myself, there was a time when I was very young and naive, and I thought that having things were important. And so I told everybody that I had gotten a brand new cell phone, even though I was only 15 years old at the time. And cell phones were, nobody had a cell phone at 15 when I was 15. So I told everybody I had it, all these things, and if they were to actually look at my documentation, if they were to look at my bank account, if they would interview my mom, they would quickly find out that I had no cell phone. So it's important to make the connection that when we look at documents, when we look at graphs, that we need to be able to interpret that information itself, and we can't just assume that whatever summary the person wrote at the time, or whatever summary or interpretation that we're getting told by somebody in the present, we can't assume that that's true. We have to be able to look at documents and be able to make our own judgments and calls. So what I want you to do is, because the best way to know how to analyze a graph from a historical document is to create one. So you have a couple different options for this lesson. You can either create a graph using createagraph.com. You can generate a chart using Google Spreadsheet or Excel if you want to be fancy pants. You can go ahead and create a video on iMovie playing your historical narrative, your historical figure that you identified in the previous lesson for your document. And so you can choose any one of these three, but I really would prefer that if you create a graph of some sort, and then of course you can choose iMovie, but I want you to create a graph. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to share your project via Google Docs and VoiceThread. You'll just add whatever you made to that, and you'll share that among your peers and your teacher. Of course, complete the student self-assessment, reflect on yourself grade yourself before I grade you, and then if you always need help, please go ahead and email me.